everything we know about Jalen Hurts is always getting better and getting better and getting better, right? He has that coach's son type of attitude, right? Which his dad was a coach, so you can see that. You look at his track record from college, right? Bounced around a little bit, but he got better every year, no matter if it was Alabama or if it was Oklahoma. The Eagles, right? First year, I mean, he didn't look that good. Got better. Last year had a down year. I expect him to bounce back. It's hard to not play up to his capabilities when you have that type of team. Good offensive line. You re-sign all your wide receivers. They're going to be there. And then you get a guy named Saquon Barkley. Right? Like, how do you just end up getting Saquon Barkley? So, asking all these things about will he bounce back? Yes, everything's in his favor. And then you add in a solid offensive coordinator, right? You don't have to worry about this off coordinator you're not really confident in. You don't have to have that problem no more. So, I just feel like Jalen Hurts, the guy that we do know, he gets better over time. And I'm waiting to see it. Because if we really want to give him that tag of being a top 10 quarterback, being an elite guy, right? That everybody talks about. This is a year to show up. Yeah. Because having one good year, having one great elite year is not enough for me. And the stuff I seen in the Super Bowl run against the Chiefs, that's who Jalen Hurts is. I think he's healthy this year. I've been talking to all my people who's healthy. The chemistry's getting back solid like it used to be. I expect Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts.
What up, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid. Back at it, man. And Shady McCoy giving his take there on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. You hear him. He's feeling positive that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles will bounce back, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts, talented guy. You know what I mean? There's always that stigma about a lot of quarterbacks coming out of college, you know, what type of quarterback they are, playing style. That used to be a big narrative that isn't even close anymore. You know, that like mobile quarterbacks, guys that weren't the traditional prototypical type of quarterback that the league saw, you know, all that running and gunning ish in college. Like, that's not going to cut it in the NFL. And we see that's just not what it is anymore, man. The game has changed. The game has evolved. And Jalen Hurts really just did always seem like the guy, like Sadie was saying, that would get better. He would find a way to win. And he's a hell of a talent. And last year we just saw the ultimate downfall. You heard him when he was talking about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, like how much talent that team has just across the board, in the trenches, offense, defense, just everywhere. And they played my Bills, that close game that, we lost in overtime. I felt we kind of got screwed. It is what it is. It's all over with, but after that, they only won one more game. I think they only had one loss at that point, and it was just ugly. It was like the craziest thing we ever saw. Comment if you know of another situation where a team fell off in that way, with all that talent that he was talking about. It was insane. That's tough. Like a lot of guys in the league, for instance, Josh Allen, that's my quarterback. I'm feeling great about what we got going on with the Bills and Allen. But sometimes Allen's a guy, I think, that it seems like mentally what's going on in his head, he could be his own worst enemy in that way. And we saw that they got out of that. They turned it around last year. But what I'm getting at is now with Jalen Hurts, it's kind of in a situation like that. That's a lot to come back and start all over with, to have that kind of fall off. And now you got to get it back together. But you heard Shady, Saquon Barkley in Philly. Surprised he signed there. That was not one of the squads that I was seeing getting mentioned as a team, that was in the Saquon Barkley sweepstakes. But here he is. What do you guys think about that? Everything Shady said. What is it, the signing of Saquon do offensively with Philly? Does that make a huge difference in your opinion? Let me know how you feel about this all. Will they indeed bounce back?
I told my mom once I wanted to be a pilot, and she said, "You're too scatterbrained to be a pilot. Just talk about sports." But in today's segment, take Goff or take off, I will choose Jared Goff or this other elite quarterback if I had to pick one to lead my franchise this point forward. My hat is slightly askew, but, maybe I spent a little bit too much time at the lounge, the Continental Lounge, before I got on the flight. Are you ready to go?
Admiral's Club was just jumping off this morning. Take off, take Goff, or take off. Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson?
I would take Lamar because I think he is the system, and I think Goff is a little bit dependent on the right protection and the right system. Lamar's just going to do what Lamar's going to do. So both great. I would take Lamar.
Okay. Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts?
I'm worried about Jalen's injuries. Goff, I think, sees the field better, bigger, taller. I think I would take Goff. I'm worried a lot. I've said this before. I like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts without Shane Steichen calling the plays is not the same as Jalen Hurts with Shane Steichen calling the plays. I may change my mind on this by Thanksgiving.
Okay, take Goff or take off? Jared Goff or Dak Prescott?
Goff, easy. I think he's getting better as he gets older, especially in the postseason. I think Dak, a few injuries, has hit a ceiling, hit a wall. This is what he is. I also think Goff is going to have better protection and more weapons. The Cowboys will be very Dak reliant, and when he throws 40 or more times, he is 8-18. So I think Goff will have a much better year.
Take Goff or take off Jared Goff or Justin Herbert?
Well, even though Herbert, Goff's got a little bit of a tailwind. He's got a little more momentum going for him. But I'm going to take Herbert, bigger, stronger, taller, more mobile. Doesn't have a lot of momentum currently. He's going to have to create that with the Jim Harbaugh. But I think it'll happen very early.
Jared Goff or Jordan Love?
I'm still not sure about the landing with Jordan Love. I don't know where he's going to land. I would take Goff. But again, I have the right to change my opinion. I just would like another 6 to 8 starts from Jared Goff. But his mobility and the way he, 8 of the last 9 weeks, operated that offense with all those young receivers, kids, really impressive. Today, I take Goff. This is a tough one for me because I'm on the looks like Jordan Love's a top 10 guy train.
Take Goff or take off Jared Goff or Joe Burrow?
This is the hardest one. Burrow is better. Burrow has 4 straight years with injuries. Goff never gets hurt. I'd go Goff. And I love Burrow. But aren't you concerned about Burrow's injuries? When's the last time he had a good September? You can go back to Goff. I know I'm getting a little erratic for a pilot. You can go back. I want to be stately. I want to be like Sully Sullenberger. Like if the plane goes a little sideways, I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
I can land it. But like, you're getting to a point with Joe Burrow is the injuries are now part of it. Like you have to bake it in. People always bang on Lamar Jackson for being hurt. Well, okay, then Joe Burrow gets hurt. So if you're asking me today who I would take, this moment, very close, it's Goff. And again, I know Burrow's better. I'm not denying that. I'm not in any way. More mobile. I think he's as good a third down quarterback as the league has. But all things considered, I'm really worried about Burrow's health.
All right, we're running out of time. This is the toughest one. Jared Goff or Brock Purdy?
Goff, that's the easiest one. Goff got the Lions to win a playoff game for the first time in 32 years. You know how hard it is to break a losing culture? That is tough. Purdy took over a franchise that just wins a lot, that's stacked, and kept winning. Not that it's unimpressive, it's just not as impressive. Got any more?
Final one, Jared Goff or Kirk Cousins?
Well, I think he's a number 1 pick for a reason, and Kirk's a 4th rounder for a reason. I think natural talent, Goff's better. Also, Cousins has to kind of familiarize himself, new staff, new system, new players. I don't think it'll be a little bumpy for him, I think.
All right, let's do one more. Hold on. Jared Goff or Matt Stafford?
Closer than people think. I'd take Stafford. Now, again, he and Burrow, there's injuries, but Burrow's injuries are consistent. Stafford has healthy year, banged up, healthy, banged up. So I think this is closer than you think. I think Stafford's just a better arm talent. If you took Mahomes out and Josh Allen out, I think Stafford's the 3rd best, what you would call arm talent in the league. I think he's that good. You do too, by the way.
So I don't know, man. You know, Jared Goff's engaged. We might have to tell his fiance, hey, look out. Colin Cowherd is just absolutely head over heels in love with Jared. I don't think anyone loves the guy as much as you do. Some of these are absolutely bonkers, Colin. Jared Goff over Joe Burrow?
Again, I contextualize it. It's an injury thing. Go look at Goff back at Cal. He got pummeled, never hurt. The guy just is, despite his frame, Jared Goff is tough. He plays hurt. He never misses games. We always say this. Reliability, availability. Can't win if you're sitting. Goff's always starting. It's like Eli Manning got criticism. He was there every Sunday.
What a segment there. Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd is a guy that, I don't know, man. He's not one of my most favorite guys in the NFL media. I'm not saying he's pure trash or garbage, but sometimes I think he's just more worried about trying to have a different kind of take, or, hey, I like the gimmick that he is as a broadcaster. So I'm coming if you feel me on that, you know, because you hear there was the whole, what was it, Goff or not or whatever? Like, who would you start, Jared Goff and you heard him, Lamar Jackson. He's going with Lamar. I see that easy call, Jalen Hurts. You know, we were just talking about the horrible way their season fell off. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles and Jalen Hurts do this season. But who would you go with? Do you agree with that or not at this point with him saying he'd take off over Jalen Hurts? I was shocked to hear him go with Stafford. That kind of blew my mind. Brock, he said that was the easiest one. Are you serious? Brock Purdy has been amazing. And that's just, easy call. Fluck out of here. I'm going with Goff over Brock. Like, whoa. Kirk Cousins, he's taking Goff over Kirk. I could see that one going either way. Same thing with Dak. Dak's a good QB, but he just can't get the job done, man. Herbert over Goff. Yeah, I'd say so. Same thing with Love. Goff over Love. I can't trip about seeing anyone go with that. Like, I'm not saying definitely 100% Goff over them, but for someone to say it, I'm like, I can see where you're coming from. But Joe Burrow, wow. You know, as I told you guys, I'm a Bills fan. Bills Mafia, Josh Allen, that's my guy. I'm surprised they didn't even mention Josh. I would have been intrigued to see what he said about Josh, but you heard when he mentioned Stafford, he was saying outside of Mahomes and Allen, Stafford is the next best, the number 3 when it comes to arm strength or arm talent. But Burrow, man, I mean, wow. I'm kind of a bit flabbergasted and perplexed by that one, but maybe the injury plays into it. Is that what it is? Is that what you think? Let me know your takes about Colin, what he had to say, and, you know, who you would go with in all these instances and examples there.
You mentioned a snowmobile in Buffalo when you got there. Are you going to be getting a snowmobile now that you're moving to Buffalo?
I don't know, man. I ain't. That's a little dangerous. I like wheels. If it ain't got wheels, I ain't really trying to ride. You know, we'll see. That's a lot of machinery. If anything, I get a snowplow before a snowmobile. I ain't trying to go out there and play in no snow, no snowmobile. They don't have no mountains or nothing out here. Like, if this was like somewhere like up in Denver or somewhere, you can go up on a slope or something. I get it, but I ain't trying to drive a snowmobile. That was a joke. You got snowmobile out there?
People will be driving on the freeway.
On the freeway? Why not a four-wheel?
They have those too.
Yeah, four-wheels for sure. Snowmobiles, if it had wheels, I'd definitely get it, but I ain't dealing with it.
And then we got Keon Coleman, 6'4" wide receiver with my Bills, number 0, the NFL's agent 0. He's going to go 0 to hero. I can just see it this year. I'm so excited about the opportunity that he has and, you know, what it will be like with our wide receiver corps. In other news, we did sign Valdez-Scantling. Ain't really big news to me. A lot of Bills fans are like, you know, will he even make the team? We'll have to wait and see. But I thought that was funny, man, because I'm like, wait, where is this guy from again? He's from Louisiana, so ain't no shocker that he's scared of a snowmobile. And man, listen, if you're from Western New York, Buffalo, New York, Detroit, anywhere that has lake effect snow. You're like, a lot of these cats from different areas, they're not ready for that Buffalo, New York climate, but it's the greatest place on earth. A lot of guys come to Buffalo and they end up loving it. You know, Jim Kelly still lives there. Thurman Thomas still lives there. And the list goes on and on. But I just got a kick out of this, you know. Comment everyone out there, have you ever visited Buffalo, like someone not from a place like that, and visited Buffalo in the snow season, or felt that cold, that wind chill factor where it's 30 degrees out, but with the wind chill, it's like -10. You know what I mean? That lake effect snow, the wind comes off the water, hits you like frozen icicles, like stabs you with the cold. It's crazy, man. It's just different. That's another reason why I don't like with this new stadium. It's going to be like an indoor/outdoor. Like, stay outdoors. That's a part of not just our home field advantage, but football in Buffalo, New York, man. Just like Green Bay, or, you know, you heard me mention Detroit when I was talking about lake effect snow. They've had a dome for the longest time. But Chicago, are they indoors now? I think, I can't recall. Or no, they still play outside, right? I know Minnesota has a dome, but it's just different, and I just do not like that. Does anyone else feel that way about the Bills' new stadium? That it's going to be like a retractable dome or whatever. I mean, I get it. You got to evolve and make renovations. It's a business, but I'm just going to miss the Ralph, you know? Some would say we're long overdue for a new stadium. I'm like, nah, man, please don't get rid of that stadium. But Keon Coleman, the Bills, everything else we touched on in here, let's talk about it all in the comments. Subscribe and stay tuned for more NFL football talk as well as other sports. We also talk music, current events, and a lot of other stuff on this channel. Peace and God bless.